Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. A massive welcome back to those who are joining me again. It is a pretty classic reading today if you've been watching me for a while. We're going to be doing a guidance reading. I used to do these a lot in the beginning, and I think I just like to do them every now and then now. There's going to be an extended as well, so the aim of this whole reading is to try to get you as much information, clarity, and guidance for your life right now. So in this part of your reading, we're going to be focusing on what do you need to know right now at the time that this reading finds you. And for the second part of your reading, we're going to be asking, what do you need to know about your next 2 weeks specifically? What information do you need to know? What's going to be happening? And what advice is going to be helpful as well? So as you can see, we do have 3 groups to choose from. So to best sort of collate your data and receive your messages, you are going to need to pick one of these 3 groups. I'll introduce them to you now, starting with group 1 over here. Each of these groups has a Vanessa Samina deck. I realized today that I have 3 decks of hers, so I was like, sure, let's use them. So the first group will have this Amethyst Crescent Moon crystal, as well as the Dark Heart Tarot by Vanessa Samina. So I'll bring that a little bit closer. If you feel drawn to this crystal or this deck, then you'll be a part of group 1's reading. The second group over here has the Gentle Heart Tarot and the Rose Quartz crystal. So again, if you feel drawn to this crystal or this deck, you'll be a part of group 2's reading. And then we have our Grupus Threepuses. So if you feel drawn to this deck or this crystal, you'll be a part of group 3's reading. So this deck is the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, and this is a raw quartz crystal. It is literally from the beautiful place that I live, Cairns. It's actually from my father's native land, so it's a very special crystal, not polished, completely raw, straight from the riverbed, very pure energy. So if you feel drawn to this crystal or this deck, you'll be a part of group 3's reading. So take your time now. If you don't know which of these 3 groups you're feeling most drawn to, pause the video to give yourself more time. I will be offering a 1-minute meditation clip. It is a guided meditation. It's a clip that will be playing right after this one. And that quick 1-minute meditation is aimed at connecting you to your intuition so that you can intuitively select a group that you feel most drawn to for today's messages. It's important that you keep the topic fresh in your mind while you are selecting a group in whichever weird, wild, or wonderful or intuitive way that you do choose a group. Remember, we're asking Spirit, what do you need to know right now? So when you do know which of these 3 groups you're feeling most drawn to, click on your timestamps in the description box and join me in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. And in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number, it may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color, it could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready, and when you feel confident, Select your group and join me in your reading. Hi my group ones, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this beautiful Dark Heart Tarot deck or this amazing amethyst crystal crescent moon shaped and polished, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome group one. So for today's reading, we're asking Spirit, what do you need to know right now? What guidance can you be offered? What information is most helpful? And what advice do you need for your journey moving forward? Now, as I mentioned briefly in the intro, there will be an extended reading. In your extended, we're asking Spirit exactly, or specifically should I say, what do you need to know about your next 2 weeks? So we'll figure that out at the end of this reading. I might add some questions too, because I feel like this group will need a lot of clarity. Intuitively, if you feel drawn towards the amethyst, you're probably seeking some sort of calming clarity, or you're probably trying to calmly connect to your intuition. This is a crystal that I use to make myself feel a little bit more at ease. It helps calm anxiousness for me personally, but it is also a good crystal to use to channel and to help connect to your intuition. So let us see what that means for you. I'm going to put your crystal up there. We'll put your tarot deck to the side for now because I want to use some oracle cards. So first and foremost, Spirit, from this little mini tarot deck, what does my group ones need to know about their life right now? What information is most helpful to group one right now, Spirit? That was quick. We're going to take her. The Hanged Man. What information is most helpful to group one? We'll take this top card. The Five of Swords. What information is most helpful to group one, please, Spirit? And the High Priestess. The back of the deck, we have this Hierophant popping out as well. I don't know if you can see more. I've been doing a lot of gardening and painting, so my hands are looking crazy, but they are moisturized at the moment, so that's a bonus. All right, Spirit, let us keep rolling on. What else do my group ones need to know right now? What else do my group ones need to know right now? Group one, while I'm shuffling, it would be a good time to get something to write with and to write on. Make sure you have a hydration source nearby as well. Ultimately, it's a good idea to just take notes of what does resonate, as this is a general reading. Note-taking can be a good way of practicing discernment and connecting with your messages. So we have the underworld coming out, and the castle. At the back of this deck is the village. If she'll focus. Are we focusing? There we go. I also want to use this deck. Actually, I'm loving my astrology decks at the moment. For my group ones, what else do they need to know right now? We have Virgo in shadow. What else does group one need to know right now, please, Spirit? Ay, Dios mío, we're going to take you, which is the waning crescent moon. Okay, and at the back of this deck, we have Cancer in shadow. Okay, I might put Cancer over here, actually. Pull your tarot deck over there. I just want to make sure I can see my bottom deck energies for y'all. Okay, and what advice does group one need to know most right now, Spirit? What advice does group one... Oi! Okay. Advice is full moon upright. What advice does group one need to know most right now, please, Spirit? Okay, and we also have third house in shadow. At the back of the deck is the Sun in shadow. Okay, so we're going to keep your tarot deck in the middle here because they will be clarifying. But for now, we're going to pull this back, make sure everything's fitting. Is that fitting? That's fitting. Okay, so my sweet souls, let's get into it. What do you need to know right now? While you've got your note-taking devices out, whether you're using paper or your phone, I want to throw out some key signs and some key numbers for you. Right now, the number 5, the number 2, the number 12, the number 6, the number 3, the number 43 as well, and the number 48. Those numbers are significant. They're not going to all be significant for all of you, but there are numbers in there that are significant for right here, right now. Excuse me, dogs, calming down. When it comes to signs in astrology, I'm seeing Virgo, I'm seeing Cancer, a lot of Pisces, and there is also Gemini. To be fair, Mercury has a very strong presence, so does the moon, and Neptune as well. When it comes to themes, I'm seeing expression, specifically the phrase speak your mind and free speech. Other themes I'm seeing is a selfishness, somebody asserting themselves in a situation where they may have given too much, where they may need to choose themselves due to feeling as though they're between a rock and a hard place. It could be that somebody else's expectations are too high, but there seems to be a connection between speaking what's on your mind and having very heavy feelings. There is also a distortion of reality in this group, a key theme. All right, I'm going to go kick the dogs out. Ouch. Sorry, my group ones. They just came back from the dog park and they still have too much energy in them. A key theme here is a distortion of reality. It almost feels like for this group, there may be a disconnect between what you feel and what you're seeing. And I do think that this disconnect could be leading to either confusion or just hesitation. There's something that you need to do, but you're hesitating to want to do it because your heart wants one thing, your intuition is saying another, and your head is trying to go with what your heart wants. But the truth is, you have all the information you need to make the right decision for yourself. Some of you may be feeling pressured socially to do something that you don't want to do. Others of you are feeling like you need to do something that could be at the expense of others around you, at the expense of a social situation, at the expense of a group of people or a friendship, a community. Communication for this group seems to be mismanaged. Either you're not getting the information that you need or that you think you need, or you're just feeling like somebody's communication style is really lacking. I can see how with this group, there is an importance here around emotions and communication. It almost feels like for some of you, you're in the dark and you're not getting the clarity that you need from somebody else. It could feel like you have to make a decision and you just wish that somebody was a bit more forward with their communication, or you wish that they were a bit more honest, but they haven't been. So now you're having to make a decision about what feels like a situation that you're in the dark. So it's kind of like you're making a decision about something that you just don't have all the facts yet. You don't have all the data. It feels frustrating. It also feels like this group is having to guess in this situation. A lot of guesswork going on, guessing this, guessing that, intuitively pulling this information, drawing conclusions, having assumptions, going off of implications, like, well, they implied this, so I'm guessing it means that. There's a lot of emotions tied to this action that needs to be taken. Some of you could feel like somebody has put you between a rock and a hard place and that their actions have made you feel confused and stuck in what's going to happen next. You need to know that it is in your best interest to really dive into how you feel about this situation. Understand your emotions because they are controlling you. And if you don't understand why you feel the way that you do, you are going to feel Like this situation is just having all the power over your free thinking and your free speech. There may be an opportunity to communicate how you feel, but you also need to find closure in the fact that a lot of you aren't going to get that opportunity. In this situation, it's more important that you think about yourself and putting your own needs first right now. Because I do think that this miscommunication is creating way too many problems, way too many blockages, and way too much confusion. You need to know how you feel, and you need to be responsible for your own feelings. Otherwise, you are going to get more stuck, more confused, and I'm hearing also more frustrated. It does feel like Spirit is trying to say not all that glitters is gold. Something may have felt like it was the best thing, but trust that if it didn't work out, or if it didn't follow through, if it didn't end up being what you thought it was going to be with the castle in reverse, it's because you were being protected from something that wasn't actually as glittery, shiny, and promising as it initially appeared. The underworld is saying that this is an opportunity for metamorphosis, for transformation, and for change. But in order to do that, it feels like with the waning crescent moon, we have to pull back and let something come into a conclusive end of cycle. We then have to process that end of cycle, that conclusion, and we then have to give ourselves permission to move forward. This seems to be a complicated situation because I do feel like you had really solid intentions, and I do think you may have been dealing with somebody who had also somewhat decent intentions. It's like you're trying to look for the fault. You're trying to skim through the information to figure out what went wrong here. You're going to drive yourself crazy if you keep doing that. There is a strong message here of being able to let go of the process with Virgo in shadow and waning crescent moon upright. Don't torture yourself trying to be the martyr in this situation, or the one that figures it out or fixes it or gives the most. I do think that for you, my group ones, you need to know that this situation could get a lot worse if you don't make some changes by accepting the information for what it is and taking action based off of what you know. This is a spiritual lesson of kind of like discernment, but I want to say surrender. Being able to roll with the present situation without getting too attached to what could be in the future, and without becoming too obsessed with what has happened in the past. This is a spiritual lesson of staying present, staying receptive, and for some part, staying unattached to the future or the past. You do need to start to be a little more selfish in how you put your own needs first and how you let yourself wrap up this cycle to gain the closure that you need, which may not be the closure that you want, to be able to move forward. I'm hearing emotional expansion, so some of you are being prepped for more emotional opportunities. You're being prepped for emotional abundance and a chance to really connect better. But in order to do that, we have to shed some emotional baggage. And this emotional baggage could be linked to somebody that you met online, to somebody that you met through work, to somebody that was a friend or in your friend group, or it could have been somebody that you feel you had a strong spiritual connection to, but it's become quite unbalanced. And it's fed into, I don't want to use that word, but some unrealistic sort of conclusions with the Hanged Man. You didn't get what you wanted to hear, so you're hanging around waiting to get the message that you want. But waiting for that is going to make you feel way more stuck, and ultimately it's going to cause you to go backwards in your journey instead of moving forward. Spirit, what else does group 1 need to know most right now? What else does group 1 need to know most right now? We have the 8 of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Page of Crystals. The back of this deck, we have the 3 of Crystals. So in this deck, the 3 of Crystals, or the crystals in general, are Wands cards. So, okay, 5 of Cups in shadow. So the thing that I'm seeing is that on the other side of this decision to take action is ultimately a chance to explore more balanced feelings. Life isn't just about positivity and the good. Obviously, we have to, a part of the human experience is experiencing both the downs, the lows, the disappointments, the sadnesses, the losses, in tandem with the wins, the love, the connection, the joy. The thing is, if you give yourself permission to move forward and to see that there is something out there for you, that the universe is ultimately a benevolent and giving place, and if you just allow your energy to be receptive to more, you can receive more. If you believe that in your heart, not your head, you will give yourself permission to attract more. The thing is, I do feel, my group 1s, that you aren't doing anything wrong. I don't want that to come across like this. This is not a lecture. But there's a strong message from your spiritual team to open your expectations up. Don't get tunnel vision. Don't expect that everything is supposed to come from one source or one supply feed. You are someone who is meant to attract abundance right now, and staying receptive to the best possible outcome is in your best interest. The 3 of Crystals is an openness to receive, for you at least. It can indicate waiting, but this isn't passive waiting for you. This is optimism, is what it feels like. This is an openness. With the 8 of Pentacles reversed, if it is broke, we need to fix it. If a system, a cycle, a job, a relationship isn't working, we have to be honest about that, and we have to start looking for solutions. And we have to also remember that we can't control other people. Everybody on this earth has free will. The only thing we can truly control is our own actions, our own efforts. And so with this 8 of Pentacles reversed, you do need to start considering putting some sort of plan in place for yourself on how you're going to move forward, on what your solutions look like, and on how you can start. I do think that this is about starting small. Don't just jump from one big thing to another here. The 8 of Pentacles reverse can sometimes look like us quitting a job or restructuring our commitments, our responsibilities. If you've signed up for full-time study, but recently, your health hasn't been great, this would be a wonderful time to consider restructuring your study load so that you aren't burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. The 8 of Pentacles reversed is giving me this energy of like needing to restructure our plans. And this is because long term, they're not rewarding. It is in our best interest to reconsider what we have committed ourselves to here. Because long term, we might be setting ourselves up for a failure. We have to be a bit more realistic. We have to be a little bit more practical. And we also have to be a bit more considerate and give ourselves grace over what we're actually capable of. I'm hearing work smarter, not harder right now. So really consider that when you restructure this as well. If you are looking at changing jobs, This is really screaming practical. Be practical. This is now a time to play it safe and to make sure that what you're switching to is something that can cover your costs, your expenses. It's not a time to take risks, at least not right now, my group ones. It is a time to get a plan in place for the next 6 months at least, to ensure that you are, again, covering your expenses financially and finding those solutions to any challenges that you are experiencing financially or physically, because this is either health or money. With the Ace of Cups here, this is a beautiful opportunity of emotion. You need to know that right now is a chance for you to express yourself, how you're feeling. And if you're not getting what you need, it's a beautiful opportunity for you to seek what you need and to stay open to what you need. I'm hearing that for some of you, this is about not putting all your eggs in one basket. For others of you, this is about following through with how you feel once you have given yourself permission to feel and to delve deep into your emotions. This Ace of Cups is saying this is an opportunity, not a promise, to express how you feel and to connect emotionally to somebody else. Ace of Cups can be opportunities to deepen relationships that are pre-existing as well. And if this challenge is really impacting your head and your heart and your intuition, it would be in this relationship's best interest, so that it has the best possible chance to evolve, for you to communicate how you are feeling and what you need emotionally right now. For some of you, this is a new opportunity in love, meaning there is a new person that can come out of this confusion that you're feeling and this change in action that you need to take. By you being more aware of how much you give versus how much you will receive, you can attract a more suitable person when it comes to your love life or your friendship circle. I do think that communication is a big part of getting the most out of this opportunity, but we'll talk about that next. For now, you need to remember, if this is a new person, this is an opportunity, not a promise. Have fun with the process and make sure that you aren't holding back. Make sure you're letting yourself and giving yourself permission to explore this. So over here, our Page of Crystals has a few messages for us, Group 1. One message has to do with communication. This is a message of making sure that the communication we are having is intentional and that it is offering the room to continue exploring something that has piqued our interest or somebody that has piqued our interest. It's kind of warning us that if we don't communicate clearly about what we want and about what we're desiring, then we could be attracting, or we could be implying that we're not as serious as we are. Some of you may be dealing with already somebody whose communication is just all over the place, hot and cold, inconsistent, come on strong and then drop off the face of the earth. Or with this Page of Crystals reversed, you could be feeling like something that you were once really passionate about, or someone you were once really passionate about, the passion is waning. Ultimately, when our Page of Crystals appears, it's a very promising, fresh, exciting, passionate energy that can instill a lot of strong sort of desires and plans and curiosities and chemistry. But when it reverses, it can feel frustrating and it can feel like something is fizzling out or something is no longer as exciting as it used to be. Some of you are feeling frustrated because you feel that somebody has lost interest in you. I'm hearing, don't take this personally, but take it for what it is. If the energy isn't flowing from their end, you need to take that for what it is and re-examine how you want to invest your energy. Spirit's reminding me that we only have so much to give, so please don't waste your energy on people who cannot offer you that same amount, because you're just feeding something into the void there, feeding your precious energy into the void. That doesn't mean that they're bad people, but it does mean that we have to readjust our expectations of them based off of the reality of what their actions are showing us. When it comes to communication right now, Spirit's really emphasizing be clear and make sure that you are keeping a level head and taking somebody for what they are right now. Just because they were once something doesn't mean that's who they are now. We may need to adapt how we see them to how they're acting and behaving right here, right now, just for our own self-preservation in this situation. The other reason, why I think this Page of Crystals is here is because it's serving as a reminder of the fact that now is not the time to get carried away. I think that the best thing you can focus on is wrapping up those cycles, giving yourself time to process the changes that have happened in your life recently, and then just staying receptive. Don't instigate, don't chase, don't force, don't get ambitious, and don't overcommit yourself. Be receptive, be open, and focus on staying connected to your feelings so that your emotions aren't controlling you, especially subconsciously. If you understand how you feel or how someone is making you feel or how a situation is triggering certain emotions, good or bad or both, you're going to feel more confident and balanced when it comes to taking action and making decisions about how to move forward. I do see a lot of growth emotionally, but it seems to come in tandem with you being able to release and stay receptive. Just because you're not hearing what you want to hear doesn't mean you don't already have all the information that you need. Remember, now is a beautiful time to stay open and to be receptive. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and keep your expectations open when it comes to what is best for you and what is in your highest good. And when it comes to other people, take their actions as their intentions for now. Even though you're an intuitive being who is picking up on so much more, it is in your best interest to take their actions as their intentions for now. Don't get too strung up on what could be and on what has happened. Take their actions as their intentions for now. So my group ones, that is what I'm seeing for you when it comes to what do you need to know right now. I'm going to jump over into your extended reading now, where we will have a look at what do you need to know about the next 2 weeks of your life specifically. We will see what comes through for you, especially concerning this person and your growth, as well as your emotional opportunity over here. I'm curious to see how the situation is going to evolve. So if the first part of your reading did resonate and you're also curious to see what the next 2 weeks have in store for you, the link to your extended reading is in my description box. Just a quick heads up, that link will take you to my website. When you click on that link, you'll be shown a multitude of readings, okay? My website hosts extended readings from over a year. So like in terms of content, there's at least over a year of videos there. So please make sure that you click on the right group before you purchase your reading. Remember, you're group 1 of the What Do You Need to Know August reading on YouTube. So my group 1s, click on the link if you would like to join me in your extended. Otherwise, thank you so much for all of your energy, your time, and your support right here on YouTube. It has been a pleasure to read for you today. I hope we're able to get some clear, specific messages for you, as well as some helpful guidance and advice. Look after your beautiful self. I wish you all the best on your journey moving forward, and I hope to catch you in another video. Bye! Hi my group 2s, and welcome to your reading. Today we are asking Spirit, what do you need to know right now? So this reading is going to get as much information, guidance, and advice about your life right here, right now. We are going to let Spirit take the wheel. Basically what that means is if you chose group 2, the Gentle Heart Tarot with this rose quartz crystal in the shape of a heart, then you are going to Receive messages that are most important to you right now. We'll see what comes through. Spirit will take the wheel. Whatever is most important is what you are meant to hear. So I'm going to put your crystal over here. We're going to move group 1's crystal out of the way. I'm going to shuffle your deck and tune into your energy. Group 2, while I'm doing this, it would be a wonderful opportunity for you to get something to take notes with, something to write with, something to write on, as well as a hydration source. So Spirit, my group 2s, those who chose the rose quartz, those who chose the rose quartz, what does group 2 need to know? 4 of crystals reversed and the Chariot reversed. What does group 2 need to know? What does group 2 need to know right now, Spirit? Those who chose the rose quartz, what do they need to know right now? My group 2s, please, Spirit. We have the 12th house reversed. What does group 2 need to know? I actually like that we got 3 cards because I think we do need 3. Okay, we have the 8th house reversed, 11 reversed, and at the back of this deck is Scorpio. I'm going to put these cards over here. I know you can't really see everything, but I'm going to try to lay them out so that you can. Let's bring it over a little bit. We got one more deck to use. I love these astrology decks, you guys. I'm sorry if you're sick of them. I find them very helpful as a reader. For my group 2s, please, Spirit. What else does group 2 need to know right now? We have the Sun reversed. We have Uranus and Psyche is at the bottom of the deck, reversed. And any other supplementary cards, Spirit, that group 2 needs to know right now. What else does group 2 need to know right now? The Destroyer and the Sword. Okay, the back of this deck is the Womb. Will it fit over here? Kind of. We'll put it there. All right, so group 2, we got a lot of information, as you can see. When it comes to what do you need to know right now, the first thing that came through was with this tarot deck. This tarot deck is saying you need to rethink or replan any travel that is coming up in the immediate future, I feel. So the immediate future for me is less than 3 months from now. The Chariot reversed and the 4 of crystals reversed. It's very much a change of plans or a change in priorities. Maybe new fears are arising and you do want to get out of the house, but you need to make sure that you're doing it in a way where this relocation or this movement is not too unstable for you. For others of you, I'm actually seeing this as some of you need to be in your home more. You need to know that right now there is an unsettled sort of feeling around your house. And if you have been struggling with sleep or you have been feeling restless or it's been a while since you've done a good cleanse, Spirit is saying it would be a really good time to make sure that you do a check of your house energetically, whether you're into feng shui or you're just a novice. It's very much just about making sure that the energy is settled. Make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to rest at home and that you're not inviting too much chaotic energy into your house. I do think a good cleanse would be good, whether you're a smoke cleanser, a salt cleanser, an oil cleanser, or even a prayer cleanser. A solid prayer would be very good, or an incantation if you're not religious. I do think with this 4 of crystals reversed and the Chariot reversed, there's also a message here about transport in general, being careful about transport. So consider checking travel cards. Have they expired? Has the balance zeroed out? Is there something going on with those cards if you use public transport? Just be prepared for delays if you use public transport. Be prepared for delays if you're using any bus transportation as well. I don't see this combination as aircrafts, but if that's something that's happening in the next week, be prepared for delays in that. I do think it'd be helpful for you to get there early so that you can stay ahead of the information. For others of you, this is also about your vehicle, making sure that your tires are okay, making sure that you have enough coolant or water in your engine. Make sure the oil is okay, nothing's overheating. This feels like something that you could do a quick service on yourself. So I'm thinking like bonnet up, check the water, check the oil, check your tires, check the battery if you can. Just make sure that that's okay. That's some practical advice that's coming through. For others of you, this is about making sure that your car is locked at night and that you aren't susceptible to Grand Theft Auto, that you are remembering to lock your vehicle, and that you don't leave your keys in an accessible place when you go out or when you leave your vehicle. I do think that outside of that practical advice, tarot is also alluding to some bigger issues here. So let's get into some of the bigger themes now, shall we? This is why it's very helpful to write things down, because not all this information is going to resonate, but what does appear to be helpful would be good to come back to, because we're not just giving you information, we're giving you advice. So some big themes that I'm seeing is us having a cycle sort of come to a difficult head. It almost feels like this wants to end, but we don't feel happy about this ending, so we are kind of prolonging it. There is an energy here of something that we thought had finished, sort of having the opportunity to transform, but the way that it is doing so is very distractive and destructive. It's distracting us, and it's also causing a lot of blockages when it comes to how we see our opportunities and how we remain open about our future. I'm seeing a very one-tracked mind here in the oracle cards. I'm seeing us feeling like we're at a standstill, like we can't really move forward. We don't feel happy about where things are at right now. This is a big feeling. With the 12th house here, it's hard for us to think about anything else. It's also hard for us to gain closure from this. It's also hard for us to feel like we are ending things on good terms. And it's also hard for us to imagine what comes next. With the 8th house in shadow / reversed, this is also a feeling of a transformation being forced upon us and us having to deal with the collateral as though it was somebody else's choice or somebody else's in control, and we're just in the dark trying to figure out what is going to happen next. The 8th house can also be about communication and just ensuring that you stay connected and that you do explore your opportunities when it comes to where to next. I do think that something that you're struggling with right now is being able to gain clarity out of this situation. It does feel like it's very much about control, and there doesn't seem to be a lot that you can control right now. So you are sitting in the dark is what I feel. But I can see the 8th house as you being aware of at least what you want in this situation. What do you desire? What do you want? What are you passionate about? What is the one thing that you can kind of hold on to in terms of a hopeful outcome or a positive outcome or a desired outcome? Use whichever verb or adjective, feels most appropriate there. I do see with 11 in shadow / reversed that we are having a hard time gaining the proper perspective of our situation. It feels like there's a lot that has happened to us and we're still just sort of dealing with it. We're handling it. I think that you guys may have too much on your shoulders right now. You are being told to take a step back and to start from your root chakra, organizing your priorities, your responsibilities, your values. You need to separate the crisis from the sort of responsibilities, in that there are things that you need to do versus things that you want to do. There is an energy here of getting more organized, getting more structured, and trying to make sure that you have a good sense of what you can handle, because there seems to be a lot of things that are up in the air. A lot of questions seem to be flying around in this reading, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of certainty about where things are heading to. And that's what Uranus in shadow is also alluding to. Uranus in shadow is suggesting that in this situation, you're almost feeling like you don't know what to make out of the future in this situation. This is a feeling of like, I don't even know where to begin, what to make out of this, what to create out of this, what to invent out of this, there's a disconnect between your inspiration and your creative energy right here. And I do feel like there may be a lot of pressure on you to perform. You guys may be feeling like you have to create. You guys could be artists. You could be people that create content, or you could be people that create mediums or media. I do think that you may be lacking inspiration right now, or you could be feeling like you're in a bit of a slump, or that your emotional upheaval that you've been through is making it difficult. Spirit is saying that you do need to be more connected to self in order to create from self. You need to limit the external distractions and the external responsibilities that are distracting you from what it is that you can do right now. You need to also be careful of taking on other people's emotional burdens right now. That is the thing that seems to be weighing a lot of you down. You have a loved one that's become very reliant upon you to self-regulate their emotions, or to offer, you guys may be dependent upon somebody else for their emotional sort of stability, or for them to stabilize how you feel. There is emotional dependency here with the 12th house. There could even be addiction. If it's not addiction, it's codependency. And there could be this feeling of like, I just can't get in control of how I feel. I just can't get into a comfortable cycle. It just seems to be a pattern of highs and then a very low low. So I do think that there is a huge emphasis in this group to give yourself more time to self-regulate. You need more alone time. You need more time just by yourself, and you also need more time understanding what feelings are yours versus what feelings are projected onto you, either through your responsibilities and your sense of care and duty of care, or because of your love. There's a strong feeling of you guys having a loyal heart and a loving heart, and you guys being very protective over people that you love as well, which is probably causing a negative impact on your mental health right now. If a loved one is going through something, I think you take it personally. I might be jumping a bit there, but it feels like you do feel when somebody that you care about is down, you feel that too. Spirit is saying you do need to kind of go into hibernation mode, especially with the womb here. You need to know that right now it is important that you protect yourself, that you protect your energy, and that you just focus on the pillars of your life, the foundations of what makes you feel like you. It's not necessarily about what makes you feel good, because if anything, you just need to give yourself more permission to feel, whether it's down, whether it's up. You need to be feeling yourself more, feeling how you feel more, so that you can actually work through some of these things and recognize the way forward. The womb here is saying this is very much about going back into a state of almost gestation, not forcing big things to happen, not rushing big things to happen, just allowing yourself to feel naturally connected to the process, which is feeling more like a healing or recovery process for this group. I also think that there is going to be a lot of creation that comes out of that period of rest and recovery for you as well. An opportunity to regulate is going to give you more energy to create, because you're letting go of a lot of the energy by regulating and by grounding. There is an energy here of destroying as well, which reminds me, I've got to throw out some numbers that are going to be significant for this group. So first off, 8 is very significant. The number 23 is significant. We also have the number 12, the number 7, the number 1, the number 4. We have the number 11. I don't know why I said 7. It was supposed to be 11, but okay, we can keep 7. We do have 11 twice, so that is a significant number. We also have the number 62. We have the number 46. And I'm going to leave it there in terms of the numbers. In terms of star signs or zodiac signs, we have a strong sense of Leo and Cancer. So Cancer, Leo cusp could be significant. We do have a stronger sense of Scorpio here. There is Pisces, but we do also have some Aquarius, and we also have some Mars, as well as some, so Mars is Aries, as well as some Taurus. There is an energy here of Taurus sort of judgment. And I do think that for some of you, when it comes to feeling inspired, I think you may be pushing that a bit too much. I think it's supposed to happen naturally. I know that this is difficult when you create so regularly, or when you are under pressure to create or invent. You seem to be someone that has entrepreneurial vibes. You could be a business owner, or you could be a freelance, sort of self-employed. It just feels like you're under a lot of pressure to create something. So if you're not an artist, there is this energy here of trying to make something out of nothing right now. And I do think that the problem with this is you're not finished destroying first. You have to wrap up a cycle and get closure before you throw yourself into a new beginning. You're not quite ready. Spirit is saying there's still things that need to be torn down. There's still changes that you need to make. And these changes are what is going to pave the way for that foundation of success. But you can't start that foundation yet. Anything you try to create right now is going to be unstable and on rocky ground, and it will inevitably crumble. You need to finish clearing the way, destroying things that don't work for you, destroying things that are not helpful for you, making sure that you are starting with a clean slate, making sure that you are working through any heavy feelings or emotions that have come up during this process, making sure that you are sticking to your truth, you're not compromising, or you're not getting carried away with the action that you've accidentally forgotten the reason, the purpose. What was the reason behind all of this for you? And making sure that you are giving yourself enough time to heal and rest and recover in between as well. It's looking like a lot of you need to make sure, with the final oracle cards that I'm reading, that you do tidy up before you start fresh. You have to let things come to an end, and you have to let emotions sort themselves out by addressing them for what they are, and by asking for space when you need space, and by identifying issues where there are issues. Pretending that those issues don't exist is going to exacerbate the problems. And I can also see with the Chariot reversed and Scorpio reversed, for a lot of you, my group twos, a major reason why you're not moving forward is because you don't really have a sense of direction yet. And what you've been trying to create didn't actually have that drive behind it, the passion, the determination. There wasn't a consistency, or there just wasn't an outcome. We just had the idea and we tried to move it forward. With that being said, Scorpio is here to say that you can progress, but we can't right now. So I'm going to start pulling some tarot out. We might use this deck actually. For my group twos, what do they need to know right now about this unresolved cycle in their lives? Look at what's at the back of the deck, the Death card. What do they need to know about their unresolved cycle right now, Spirit, for my group twos? What do they need to know about the unresolved cycle in their life right now? Okay, we have the Hanged One over the 12th house. That's Neptune energy. Literally, you're in limbo, feeling stuck. Look at this, Five of Swords, the Moon. You need to know that this is a rock and a hard place situation, but you have to put yourself first. You have to move forward and do what is best for you. You also need to start thinking more about how you actually feel and what your fears are telling you. You have a tendency to suppress emotion or to hide your feelings, maybe for the betterment of others. You could feel like you need to be the bigger person, but actually that is causing you to remain stuck and bound in your situation. There is an illusion of being stuck here due to a principle of something that was spoken, a stubbornness in a conversation, or a judgment decision that was created out of like some sort of pride. I do think with the Hanged One reverse, there is a feeling here of you being unnecessarily stuck. And the truth is, you can get down anytime you want, but you have to confront your fears, and you have to be able to choose what is best for you. And you have to go against something that was already decided as well. So I do think that for some of you, this is a rock and a hard place. Ultimately, what's going to set you free is you feeling like you have a clear conscience and feeling like your heart is choosing the best decision. What else do they need to know, Spirit? You guys could be under the influence of a fire sign, or there could be a fire sign that's significant. I am also seeing the strong Pisces, but this is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Yeah, it feels like some of you are worried about your health or very focused on your health right now. There could be a concern of somebody's health in your family. I do think that it is important that you gain advice when it comes to your success and your health from the right people. Seek professionals, seek those who are learned and those who have trained to become, to be in their position to give you advice. And with the Queen of Wands reversed, you also, my group twos, need to consider the fact that if something isn't moving forward for you, it's probably not meant for you right now. There are other things that you can focus your energy on. There are other things that you can give your time to. You really should be giving your time to yourself. You should not be thinking about starting big things and taking on other people's burdens. This is a time for healing and rest for self. You also need to work on your confidence. Spirit, why do they need to work on their confidence? Somebody might have impacted your confidence recently. Something that they said still rings in your mind. They could have been a female air sign, but it just feels like what they said really cut deep. You guys may need to work on your confidence because you're not seeing yourself clearly. You're feeling scrutinized by other people, or you feel like you need to live up to other people's expectations. You could also be feeling like when it comes to your confidence, you have something to prove to other people, as though there's competition around you, or you're feeling challenged, under pressure. You could be in a very competitive working environment. You could be in a competitive sort of family environment where you're compared to your siblings or your cousins or your aunties or your uncles, whatever that is. It just feels like when it comes to your confidence, you have a hard time seeing how you stand out and how to make yourself stand out for the right reasons. I do think that you have competition around you when it comes to your skill set and anything that you are trying to create right now. What do they need to know, Spirit? What is the helpful advice? So the thing is, your future is not yet decided. A lot of you are going to create success from something that is very different to what you're doing now, but teamwork is essential. It's more about who you know, your friends, for example, putting yourself online in the best ways, recreating your public image could be important to you. When it comes to your future success, it's about getting your priorities straight, because I think that you're going to have a very big shift in career, or you're going to have a huge shift in how you want to build your success. What once mattered to you is not going to matter to you. Some of you need to let go of one dream in order to pursue another. It feels like a sacrifice here. Some of you are giving up on a dream prematurely because you have to feed energy into something else. There is an energy here of balancing something out, of sacrificing an aspiration for another aspiration. I am getting a reality check with that Ten of Pentacles reversed. But if you do want to further something and grow something, you have to consider how much effort you need to put into it and what is being asked of you to make it grow. The Star card is giving me future vibes. So if you want an aspiration to become reality, there is an energy here of planning. There is also an energy here of being able to put yourself in the right place at the right time. And the Sun card is encouraging you to put yourself out there. It's an extroverted energy of really putting yourself out there physically. Outside of that, Spirit also wants you to know with the Sun card that things can get brighter. It is slightly about your mindset, but it's also just about putting yourself first. You shouldn't be faking feeling good until you do feel good, although that is something that psychologists say is helpful and is shown to kind of improve mental health conditions. But I think that this is about authenticity of self more than anything. The right people around you could really help you, and working with the right people could really help you. But I ultimately am seeing a strong sense of self and identity here, creating yourself and your identity before you try to create a successful business out of this, if that resonates. Let's shuffle these cards back in. I'm going to ask one more time if there's any other helpful advice or information that you need to know, especially around that ending, Spirit. Is there any other helpful information or advice that my group twos need to know? Oh my gosh. Is there any other helpful? Oh, we have the Justice card. Is there any other helpful? We have the Temperance card. We have the Queen of Swords. Anything else, Spirit? Six of Wands, Three of Wands, Ten of Wands, Two of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. Are we in frame? Yeah, okay. Group 2, your closing message. What do you need to know right now when it comes to that ending in your life and gaining closure? A win-win outcome is predicted, but this is for the highest good of all. If it is a legal issue, justice will prevail. The best thing you can do is just focus on being able to move forward with good karma. I think that if you were the one who felt wronged, as in somebody had done wrong by you, they are going to get the justice that they deserve. If you feel like you've done wrong by others, then you are going to get the justice that you deserve as well. I do think that the best thing that could happen is a separation between you and chaos. You need to start tempering your energy and trying to pinpoint why you feel so unsettled and why things don't feel right. I'm hearing there's no place like home, but where is home? For some of you, you need to consider creating more safety, more permanence, more stability, especially if you have been on the move and you've been traveling a lot recently. A lot of your misdirection and redirection is because your energy is just not settled. And you can be nomadic and feel settled, but for some reason it's not working for you. You need to feel settled. You need to find a place that makes you feel safe and stable enough to be able to create, heal and create. You also need to know that when it comes to healing, you need to separate your mind from others. You have to be able to make your own opinions about what has happened to you, and you should not be gathering thoughts from other people, gossiping or garnering information of other people's opinions. That's going to create more harm than good, and that's going to confuse you. It's going to confuse your mind, and it's going to put an unhelpful perspective in your mind as well. You're going to find it very hard to be able to make a decision for self when it's very heavily informed by other people. The best thing you can do when it comes to your healing is to stay subjective. Don't try to get a bigger picture. Don't try to be the bigger person. Just put one foot in front of the other and head for the direction that is in your best interest. You're not responsible for being the peacekeeper. You're not responsible for being the adjudicator. You're not responsible for being the therapist. You are responsible for yourself. So start putting yourself first, please. You don't owe other people explanations. You don't owe other people therapy. You don't owe other people information about what has happened to you. You owe yourself the dignity to be able to give yourself time to actually understand how you feel about this before you even start giving out opinions or perspectives. I also think that with this endings or this messy sort of confusing situation, if you were to just take some time out, that would probably be the best thing. You don't need to be overly involved right now. You don't need to maintain public appearances, and you definitely don't need to try to be somebody's hero. It's very important that you recognize where the line is when it comes to your boundaries, your capabilities, and your energy. Don't overextend yourself right now, please. Laying low and getting out of the public eye is probably in your best interest, or moving with purpose, not publicity, is probably in your best interest. Taking those big moves off of social media is in your best interest. Outside of that, there is also a message here of redirection. If something isn't working, your energy needs to go towards another direction. It may not be what you want, but it is exactly what you need. It's going to pay the bills. It's going to look after you physically. It's going to make sure that your health improves. It's going to feel like there's more of a work-life balance. If this is a job, it may not be your ideal career, but again, it pays the bills and it has a good work-life balance. I'm just going to reset my camera real quick. This is also about you taking what is available to you and using it to get to where you want to be. You are seemingly waiting for that big fish, that best possible outcome, and that's still achievable. But for right here, right now, we have some crises that need to be addressed. We have some responsibilities that need to be taken care of, and we have some priorities that need to be straightened out. So do what you can to get those things sorted and then set your sights higher and start building your confidence, your esteem, your resources up to the point where you can think bigger and dream bigger. I hope that that was a helpful reading for you, my group 2. So I'm going to take this into the extended reading now, where we're going to have a look at the next 2 weeks for you. What do you need to know about your next 2 weeks? I'm excited to see where things are going to go from here, how things are going to improve, and just what you need to know in terms of any changes or information. If the first part of your reading did resonate and you are interested in joining me in your extended, the link is in the description box. Your extended reading will be on my website, so that link will take you to a page on my website that hosts most of my extended readings. So please make sure that you click on the right group. A reminder that you are group 2 of the What Do You Need to Know August 2023 reading. So please make sure you click on the right one before you purchase it. I'm going to say it again. Please make sure you click on the right group before you purchase it. Group 2, it's been a pleasure to read for you. I hope you have a lot of notes to refer to. I'm really hoping that this reading was helpful for you. Thank you so much for all your time, your energy, your support. Thank you for being here, for joining me and this beautiful community right here on YouTube. Look after your beautiful self, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye. Hi, my group 3s, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this beautiful natural quartz crystal or the Pastel Journey deck by Vanessa Samina, then this is going to be your reading. I'm going to put your crystal down there, my group 3s. Today we're asking Spirit, what do you need to know right now? This is a guidance reading. We're going to be using tarot, oracles, and we're going to be getting as much information about your life right here, right now. What information do you need to know? What advice do you need to know about what is happening in your life right now? Now, there is going to be an extended reading as well, which will be focusing more on the next 2 weeks of your life. But to get there, we do have to start here. So we'll talk more about that at the end. My group 3s, while I shuffle your cards out, it will be a wonderful time for you to make sure that you have something to take notes with. So make sure you have something to write with and to write on. And also make sure that you have a hydration source so that you are hydrated throughout this reading. Let's get into it. For my group 3s, please, Spirit, tune me into group 3's energy. What does group 3 need to know right now? The 10 of Cups reversed. What does group 3 need to know right now, Spirit? What does group 3 need to know right now? Okay, we'll take that because that just fell right out. Mutable coming out reversed. What does group 3 need to know right now? We also have fixed. What does group 3 need to know right now, Spirit? Oops. I'm going to take that. We have Aquarius reversed, and at the back of the deck we have Moon. Okay, I'm going to shuffle these cards now. Sorry, your bottom deck energies are going to be slightly out of frame. That's why I'm trying to show it to you before I put it down. Spirit, what does group 3 need to know right now? We have the 12th house in shadow. What does group 3 need to know right now, please, Spirit? What does group 3 need to know right now? Okay, and we have solar eclipse. The back of this deck, we have the 6th house in shadow. What else are we getting, Spirit? Well, we'll get this deck. I don't think I did this for the other groups, but I think I need to for you. Move that over a little bit more. Spirit, what does group 3 need to know right now? What does group 3 need to know right now, please, Spirit? Whoa. Okay. We have the dead end. And we have the flame. We also have the crone, the back of this deck, if that's still in frame. It is. Okay, so there's a strong message that I'm getting coming through first, but I do need to do some housekeeping, as we call it. I just want to rattle off some numbers and some signs, some zodiac signs that could be significant for this group. So you can write these down if they are helpful or if they do resonate. The numbers can be helpful in terms of dates, birthdays, or important time frames. So in terms of numbers, I'm seeing the number 11. We're also seeing the number 18. There's the number 12. There's the number 40. 13, we have 51. We also have the number 11 again, actually. We have the number 10, and there's the number 6 as well. So in terms of signs, we have a strong sense of Aquarius and Libra here. There is a little bit of Virgo. We also have some Pisces energy and Cancer energy. To be honest, Pisces is stronger than Cancer though. And then we also have all of the fixed and mutable signs. So if we start with the fixed signs, that's Taurus, Leo, who's in the middle there? Taurus, Leo, Aquarius. Who am I missing? Scorpio. And then the mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarius. I'm wondering if I'm missing anybody. Sorry, you guys. Just with the oracle cards, am I missing anyone, Spirit? No. Yeah, so this is what I'm picking up on, sweet soul. When it comes to what you need to know right now, there is a strong feeling of a relationship coming to an end in this group, and you being able to trust your gut instincts and trust the wisdom that you've gained from this experience. You need to make sure that you're not obsessively romanticizing a cycle that needs to come to an end. You need to make sure that you're not obsessively fantasizing about something that is not supposed to continue happening for you, about a person who is no longer meant to be in your life, and about a situation that is not going to get much better. You also need to make sure with this 6th house reversed that you don't overextend yourself at this time. There is a strong message when it comes to relationships of you not breaking your back for other people and making sure that in some way maybe you're just doing the bare minimum. I don't think that now is a good time to reconcile with people who are putting distance between you. Now is a wonderful time to observe your fears and your emotions and what they're impulsing you to do, because rather than acting upon those impulses, it's very important that you understand and observe what that fear is originating from. I can see success in this group when it comes to relationships, but you have to let something go first. Solar eclipse is saying you have all the information that you need, and it's a reminder that rejection is divine protection. It's also a reminder that in the dark is when we see the most clarity, and the separation is when we gain clarity. If something is not in our lives, that's the clarity. It's not, well, how do we get it back? How do we make it bright again? It's like, no, this darkness, this separation, this distance is the information, is the clarity. I do think that for this group, there is a strong feeling here of not pushing friendship for the sake of trying to cling on to something that does need to end, group 3. There is a strong message here of trying to seek closure in a situation that's going to get messier before it gets clearer. Confusion around feelings, confusion around the would've, could've, should'ves, the potential, the possibilities. There is also a message here of you really wanting justice and wanting this to work out. And I don't think that that's a wrong thing to want, but I just don't see that happening with this person that's forcing space between you. This is a classic tale of if they could, they would. If they wanted to, they would. But they don't, so they haven't. And I'm really sorry that this is coming through so harsh, but like I'm seeing so many signs of literally a dead end, an ending, no compromise. Well, to be honest, mutable in reversed is to me, is an observation of somebody who can, but they just don't want to. They're a flexible, free spirit, and they're choosing not to. This is the end of a relationship, and this is imposing friendship on something that is not meant for you, or imposing some sort of idea onto something that is not meant for you. This fixed energy is a very stubborn energy as well, trying to force something to happen. So that's the first message that's coming through. But there is another message here, and this message has to do with your health. This message is about making sure that you aren't canceling or delaying or not booking important appointments for your health. And I'm sorry that this feels like a big lecture. I think you have like a matriarch that is very interested in getting you back on track. There is like this feminine energy here that's coming through, and she's very determined to empower you and remind you that you are strong, that you are capable, that you are successful, that you are independent enough, strong enough to be able to make things work without these energies. This energy is very determined to make sure that you aren't skipping those important health appointments. And this is very general, because for some of you, it's your eyes. You need to go and get your eyes checked again. It's getting dangerous. For others of you, it's just a routine checkup. And for others of you, this is about your physical health, and it could be impacted by your diet, what you're eating, and whether you have had a recent blood work done as well. There is a strong message here of just making sure that you aren't hesitating, checking up on your health, my group threes. Outside of that health message, there is also a message here of codependency and making sure that you are putting yourself in fair situations by honoring your individual self-worth, as well as the compromises that may be required of you. There is a message of just making sure that you don't accidentally sign up for more than you can handle right now, because it does seem like this is a group that could unknowingly sign a contract or get into a commitment, a relationship that is going to take more than it gives. If something is being delayed, withdrawn, rejected, held back, it is for your highest possible good. Please trust that right here, right now. If it didn't work out the first time, that doesn't mean that you're not meant to have success. It just means that you're meant to have success in a different way. There is a message here that your dead ends in general are redirecting you towards your potential. Some of you have turned your back on your purpose, on your true point of inspiration right now. And your spiritual team is really trying to remind you of where your passion lies and what your sense of purpose is. This seems to be connected to your experiences or your values, but I do think that for others of you, you may be in the process of recreating your purpose and redefining your purpose. And the biggest sort of focus right now could be in making sure that your relationships aren't holding you back. There is a message here of healing your inner feminine, of being able to trust, and of connecting with the divine flow so that you're not controlling, you're not forcing, you're not trying to manipulate, and you're not trying to make things happen the way that you expect them to happen. Healing your divine feminine is about going with the flow, receiving instead of initiating, and being receptive instead of forceful. I do think that your spiritual team is very much wanting you to focus on staying upright, if that makes sense, especially if you've been knocked down or you've had some knockbacks. As difficult as this is to say, because I don't know what level the rejection has been or the setbacks have been, I'm hearing take it on the chin and keep moving forward. Take it on the chin and keep moving forward. It's very tough love sort of vibes in this group. I feel like your spiritual team has been trying to really connect with you, my group threes, in your dreams. The message that I'm getting for you is pay more attention to your dreams and start seeing your reality for what it is. You need to kind of stop trying to escape from yourself. mentally. You need to start seeing your reality for what it is. You need to start showing up more for yourself. And you also need to make sure that you're trusting your intuition. There is a strong message here of repetitive cycles going around and around again, and getting stuck in a void of delusions or daydreams or fantasies and distortions of reality ultimately. Your spiritual team is very concerned about you getting carried away in your head to the point where you're missing out on your opportunities right in front of you. You need to take better care of your physical health, but you also need to really take care of your emotional well-being. Not just your mental health, but actually how you see yourself inside, and the voice that you give the most sort of attention to. Because there's some negative self-talk here, but there's also some limiting beliefs, which may not be negative, right? They could be very empowering, but they aren't realistic. These limiting beliefs are distorted because they're not actually connected to reality. They're connected to fantasy and daydreams. Spirit, clarify this 12th house reverse. Is there any other messages I'm missing? Spirit wants you to start taking action towards what you can control, so that this will get your mind off of what you can't control. You are a successful, capable person who is destined for abundance, opportunity, prosperity, wealth is what I'm seeing. When it comes to material success, it's important that you continue making efforts towards opportunities. Now is the time to be practical. Don't overly read into the situation. Don't overconsume intuitive practices. At some point, you have to go with what you know, and you have to trust yourself. Another pick a card reading is not going to tell you anything that you don't already know. This is about you. Stop relying on other people and have the confidence to move forward towards your happiness and away from what isn't working for you. Let's move forward. What else do we need to know, Spirit, about this mutable energy? What else do we need to know about this mutable energy? What else do we need to know about this mutable energy? We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Hermit card reversed. We have the Six of Pentacles. Queen of Cups, Page of Cups, and the Emperor. This mutable energy, Spirit's saying, try not to get distracted right now. Don't lose focus. And don't give in too easily. For some of you, this is about a coping mechanism in which you withdraw because it's easier, in which you pull away because it's easier. You shut up and you shut in because it's easier. Relationships take work. Success takes work is what I'm hearing. The best way to move forward is to be a little bit more vulnerable, to be a bit more expressive and open. You may need to put your heart on your sleeve for this. This is in reference to a situation in which you want more as well. It's going to require you putting yourself out there, being open to even exchange. You can't expect people to bend over backwards. You can't control people either. Sorry, my group threes, we're interrupted by a visitor. But as I was saying, you can't expect people, in this situation, it feels like you can't expect people to meet you if you're not willing to try first. This is very much about opening yourself up to a situation that could offer you more emotional intimacy if that's what you want. If you desire more emotional intimacy, more deep emotional relationships, you're going to have to put yourself out there more, and you're going to have to be receptive towards other energies. You're also going to have to risk meeting a few bad eggs or cracking a few eggs to get your omelet. Is there any other clarity, advice, or information about that mutable energy for my group threes, please, Spirit? We also have the Seven of Cups. Be clear about what you want, Spirit is saying. Don't settle for less. Know what your options are and choose wisely. The right opportunity is going to come towards you and it's going to trump the other options. I know I don't like that word, but it is going to trump the other options. It will stand out and it will exceed everything else that you've been offered, especially if you're looking for emotional, like romantic love. I'm seeing competition. What is this Five of Wands about? Two of Cups. I do think that in order for you to take a relationship to the next level, you're going to have those conversations about fears, conversations about compromising on expectations, or really sort of looking at the future and taking the future seriously, because it feels like there's an energy here of competition. So for some of you, it's because you're seeing other people. For others of you, it's because this person is open to other people. And in order to get to a point where you can trust each other and feel loyal to each other, you can't read each other's minds. You have to have that conversation. This is interesting because I feel like that's a message that wouldn't have come through if we hadn't looked more carefully. This mutable energy is definitely an energy of choosing what's best for you, though. Every relationship requires compromise, but you don't want to sacrifice here. You want to find and connect and communicate in a way where you are being vulnerable, but you're not negating from what it is that you truly want. I hope that makes sense, my group threes. Is there any other clarity? Have I made that more confusing, Spirit? Yeah, the strong message I'm getting is don't settle for less. Don't try to turn a frog into a prince, right? Don't settle for less. Spirit, can we clarify this fixed energy? Sorry, I'm not going to clarify every card. I'm just going to do the ones that are standing out the most. Nine of Cups next to the Ten of Cups. Okay, what is this fixed energy about for my group threes? So there's a stubbornness here. This fixed energy, what you need to know right now is if somebody isn't willing to give you what you want, it's a sign of your protection. It's a sign of your happiness being protected. It's a sign of an opportunity to be to have emotional boundaries and to be cautious and to be careful and to make sure that you're not giving too much in this situation. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm feeling, group three, I think that okay, sorry. There's a message here about ambition and raising your aspirations to make sure that you are staying open to your highest possible outcome. But what I'm seeing is a very specific situation where you could be dealing with someone who is in a position of authority. They could be a parental figure, they could be a manager, they could be a boss, they could be someone who's older than you. You need to know that that situation is not going to get better. So you need to start making your plans to get yourself out of that situation. And you need to start thinking, what is best for me here? You need to start making choices for yourself. And you need to not hesitate when it comes to moving in a better direction, taking action in the right direction, taking action in a way that is going to give you what you want. Make the right decisions. Ask for professional advice if you need to. Sorry, this is a very specific message, so I don't know who this is for, but take it if it resonates. Don't lie to yourself and say things are going to get better. You are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. May you find a path to your best self. Don't waste time. It's only going to get worse. You may need to seek justice on this. You may need legal advice as well. But I'm getting a strong message of don't waste time. It's probably just going to get worse. Okay. Sorry, you guys. We're getting such random messages. I'm just going to have to roll with it for this group and take it if it resonates, basically. What clarity is group 3 receiving from the solar eclipse energy, Spirit? Okay, the clarity is choice. So you need to know that in darkness, in separation, in distance, there is freedom, the freedom of choice, the opportunity to think for self and to make decisions based on what is in your best interest. This is also an opportunity for you to choose to do something that is right for you. There is a message about children here too. For some of you, this is about doing what's right for you and your children. The darkness is giving you freedom of choice, independence. 6 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles with the 2 of Pentacles and group 3. Don't be afraid to go backwards in order to go forward. I think that you should be weighing up your options very carefully when it comes to how you choose to commit yourself moving forward and what you think you need to do. It's a very strong message of don't jump from the frying pan into the fire. Don't take on too much. Don't jump from one contract to another. Don't jump from one commitment to another, from one relationship to another. Be very careful about what you choose to do. You don't want to repeat the same mistakes. But also, flexibility would be a wonderful thing right now. Instead of signing a full-time contract, maybe consider... Sorry, my group 3s were interrupted again by my dogs this time. But as I was saying, instead of doing something full-time, maybe flexibility. If this is a job situation, consider casual, consider freelance, consider doing it in a way where there is flexibility, where you don't have to commit yourself, where you can give yourself room to feel more in control and more independent, more free. There is a stronger message here of freedom. Making decisions without knowing all the information is going to really come around and bite you again. Don't sign up for something when you have no idea what you're signing up for. Ask more questions, delay that serious action, or accept something that is flexible before you commit yourself to it. You don't have all the information yet, but it will be revealed to you. Now is not the time to sign yourself up to something or to commit yourself to something. Is there any other clarity around this Aquarius energy? What are we missing with this Aquarius energy for my group 3s? Five of Swords reversed. What are we missing with this Aquarius energy for my group 3s, Spirit? 3 of Wands reversed, King of Pentacles reversed, Hermit card reversed, and the 6 of Pentacles reversed. So with this Aquarius energy, I definitely feel like moving forward for you, right now, let's not even talk about moving forward. Right now, my group 3s, the best thing that you can do for yourself is make sure, again, that message of not overextending, but make sure that you are aware of what it is that you need, where you do need help and how you do need help. Because I do think that when it comes to people being a part of your life, you kind of have to be more clear in how you want them to show up for you and how you want them to support you. And I do think that there's a practical message here of repaying a debt, but I also think that there is another message here of making sure that you're not biting off more that you can chew in general. And I think that that message is in relation to feeling socially obliged to do things, feeling like certain social obligations are becoming too much, and making sure that if you do want to go ghost mode, hermit mode, quiet mode, you can do that without feeling guilty. There is another message here of making sure that you are giving yourself the chance to reinvent yourself in the near future. So I do think that this is about walking away from a situation that has already expired instead of trying to feed more energy into it and trying to make something out of nothing. Just see it as an opportunity to go good riddance, and I have now more space to create more meaning. By losing one thing, it could feel like you're losing multiple things. Maybe by losing a job, it feels like you're losing friendships, you're losing meaningful relationships. By losing a relationship, it could feel like you're losing friendships and a job. It's like, please give yourself time to process that change so that you don't try to hold on to anything that is no longer meant for you, and so that you can come to terms with the fact that now there is so much more room for possibility. There is a strong message with that card of you trying to hold on to things and force things to happen and getting stuck because you're like, well, why isn't this working? I think that there is an unfair dynamic going on between somebody who's in a position of power or has more authority. This could be social authority, but it's coming through as like a boss or a manager, a spouse even, somebody who feels like they have a lot of influence over you. And I do think that when you're not on good terms with that person, it feels like you're not on good terms with other people as well. Like they have that control over you. Spirit's advice here is to trust what you know about the situation and really start focusing on taking action that is best for you and on removing yourself from a toxic situation, because it's giving between a rock and a hard place. There is no win or lose. There's only lose-lose. The best thing you can do is just see it as, well, this is my opportunity to start thinking for myself and doing for myself and getting myself out of this situation once and for all. Some of you, Virgo was significant there, but I also saw Taurus and Capricorn. So take that as it resonates. It's definitely an unfair situation, and it feels like something that you're having to deal with in tandem to another change that you're going through or another sense of loss that you're going through. Is there any other information my group threes need to know when it comes to this flame energy, Spirit? We have the Knight of Swords. We also have the Nine of Wands. And we have the Eight of Cups with the Four of Cups reversed at the back of the deck. So this flame energy is about taking action towards what you do know. And it's also about making sure that you aren't holding on to things. So there's a strong message here of being able to move forward with communication, making sure that you are taking actions. But it's also about making sure that you don't miss out on an opportunity to move towards something that you really want, something that you're passionate about, something that you desire, something that is going to help you get away from something else. Don't miss that opportunity. It could be an offer. Somebody could say to you like, hey, group three, I heard you were looking to do this, or did you still need that lift to so-and-so tomorrow night? Don't miss that opportunity to take action away from something and towards another thing that you really want. I do think that your communication is very valuable to you right now, and it could feel like people are kind of giving you support in random ways. You could feel more supported by strangers than you do by friends and loved ones right now. But take that support where it is helpful, because it is going to make sure that you're in the right place at the right time, and it's going to start allowing you to move forward at a time where you feel like you're really in the dark. You don't really know what your next steps are, and you don't really know how to progress from here. So this is about being opportunistic. This is about saying yes and making sure that you take fast action. This is going to happen very soon. So I don't have too much more information about that, but it is going to happen very, very soon. It's going to either happen as you're watching this or within the next couple of days, basically, because our extended reading is going to look more at the next 2 weeks. We'll see if we can get more information about it there. But the main message is make sure that you say yes, make sure that you're receptive, make sure that you take fast action, because this is going to help you move forward, moving away from an emotionally unfulfilling situation and essentially trying something that you've always wanted to do. So that's what I'm seeing for you, my group threes. I apologize for all your mistakes. It was very difficult for me to come back into your reading and make sure that I'm grounded all over again. We put a lot of time and energy into this behind the scenes, let me just say that. But I hope that we were able to get a lot of messages for you. I don't believe in coincidences, so I do think that those interruptions could hold some significance to some of you watching this. Maybe you feel like you've been interrupted or disrupted on your journey and you're just coming back onto your path again now. Maybe you feel like you've had a lot of setbacks. That was a common theme in this group, and you're just trying to find your sense of purpose and direction now. I wish you all the best on your journey moving forward, group three. I'm going to go into your extended reading now, where we will have a look at what you need to know about your next 2 weeks specifically. So if the first part of your reading did resonate and you who'd like to join me in your extended, the link is in the description box. That link will take you to my website, Group 3. It's very important that you select the right video before you purchase it. That link hosts, or that page that link will take you to, hosts most of my extended readings. So there's a lot of content on there. Remember that you are Group 3 of the What Do You Need to Know guidance reading from August 2023. So please make sure that you click on the right group. And thank you so much for all of your support right here on YouTube. Thank you for your time, your energy, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye.